Playmates Interactive Entertainment Incorporated was a smaller game publisher, and they released 5 games for the Sega Genesis. And in today's video, I'm going to take a look at all 5 games, give you kind of a mini overview, and give them a ranking, a letter grade. And so I've done several of these on my channel. I want to thank everybody for visiting. And what I'm doing is going through the Genesis library and looking at each game company and the games that they published. And so today we're looking at this company, and some of these games are going to surprise you. First up is Doom Troopers Mutant Chronicles. Now, this was a pen and paper. It was pretty popular in the 90s. Later on, it was a card game and as well as a video game. And they made one video game for both the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo. And what do I think of it? You know, it is kind of a traditional run and gun, kind of a Contra style game. It has graphics kind of like Donkey Kong Country. It is rather violent. You know, it's got 8 levels. It is rather challenging as a single player game, but it is a 2-player option, and I think it becomes a lot more fun doing it like that. And so I found the gameplay to be so kind of average. I do like some of the animations of the enemies when they die, and there's some cool game aspects of it where you have to like how you take out an enemy is how you progress into the game and certain parts of the levels. And so, do I like it? Yes, I like it. I think it's above average, and I would give this a B. It is definitely not known about as much. Now, on the collectible side, finding a complete copy of this game is rather difficult. The Inquisition card that comes with it, that can be hard to track down. Now, there's different ones, I do believe, that came with it. This is the one that came with mine, and good luck completing that these days. And so Doom Troopers, definitely, if you like those types of games, definitely it's worth going back and revisiting, as I think it's kind of overlooked and a lot of people may not know about that game. Exo Squad was a cartoon and toy line and a video game for the Sega Genesis, and this is a really bizarre game. You know, I wasn't really into Exo Squad. You know, I was in high school when it came out. You know, a lot of these games were like kind of late releases for the Sega Genesis, right before, you know, people were getting into 32-bit Sony PlayStation. And so, you know, Exo Squad is a combination of 3 types of games. It's got a shooting, like 3D stage. Then you go to like a kind of a boring, monotonous side scroller, and then there is some fighting, and there's a 2-player option for that. You know, whenever you take 3 different types of games and put them into one, I wonder, you know, sometimes things get sacrificed. I think the side scroller doesn't work for me. It's a little bit too slow and boring. The shooting stage, I was going left and right. Like, your character sprite is huge, but there just isn't a lot of gameplay there. You know, it's fighting control just a little bit. It's a little bit too slow for me. I'm going to give this a C. If you're a fan of the cartoon, you might rate it higher. You know, I really don't have a connection to that. I know the toys are really collectible and hard to find. Next up is the big one. The big one for Playmates Interactive Entertainment. And so, yes, they published Shiny Entertainment games, most notable for the Earthworm Jim series and MDK. So Earthworm Jim came out, and I purchased it back in the day. This was a huge hit. This was heavily advertised. It just blew everything else out of the water. Animation, graphics, gameplay. You know, I'd never seen that type of animation in especially a 16-bit game. I was totally in to Earthworm Jim. You know, the outrageous humor, the gameplay. This is a great game. I would say one of the best on the Sega Genesis library for action platformers. It is included on the Sega Genesis Mini, and you know, for me personally, this is an S. I absolutely love this game. I think it's one of the better games on the library, as I mentioned. And you know, you have to kind of like the humor of Earthworm Jim, or you have to like these action platformers. You know, it's funny. It's been years since I launched the cow of the first stage. It was fun to go back and do that. There's the production value of Earthworm Jim compared to like any other Genesis game is just like second to none. Oh my goodness, so good. There's some people out there. When are you going to rate something an S? This is an S. All right, next up is the follow-up, Earthworm Jim 2. And I can't really put my finger on why this game, to me, is not as good as the first one. I don't know if it's the levels. You know, Earthworm Jim was kind of outrageous. It was over the top. It was advertised everywhere. And then Earthworm Jim 2 was trying to capture that. And it's hard, you know, once something, you know, comes out and to follow it up. And so, you know, for me, Earthworm Jim 2 was a good game. I definitely think it's a solid action platform. It's got many things of the first game. It has some different gameplay mechanics, some different guns added to it. Does it live up to the first one? I don't think so. I still think it's really good. I'm going to give it an A. I think it's good. I don't know if it's an S. And so, you know, a lot of other people would grade it lower. I still think it's really, really good. And I like the level design, and I like many things about it, but I don't think it's an S. And so it's an A. It's got humor, it's got action, it's got great animation. It really is an example of how to do a 16-bit series. All right, this next one is going to be controversial. And so, first and foremost, you have two types of people, okay? You have people into Star Trek and people that don't. Okay, there's usually not an in-between, okay? And I was a huge Star Wars fan, but I also liked Star Trek. Now, Star Trek Deep Space Nine was a TV series that I eventually saw every episode. Did I grow up with it and watch it? I didn't watch it quite a bit. I watched a lot of Star Trek Next Generation. So once I watched all of Deep Space Nine and went back and tried to play Star Trek Deep Space Nine Crossroads of Time, I think that this game definitely is one to go back and play. Now, if you're a fan of the TV show, you're going to like this game. Now, it's not really action oriented. It's a lot of puzzle solving, and you got to talk to the crew, you got to talk to different characters in the movie and figure out things. If you're a fan of Deep Space Nine, you're going to like this game. If you're not a fan of the show, then you are not going to like this game. It's just kind of dull. Some people are going to be bored with it. It is not really an action-oriented game. There's some action in it, but it takes a while to get there. Now, if you're a fan of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, definitely worth checking out, and I highly recommend going back and playing it. And so I'm going to give this a B. If you're a fan of the series. If you're not, you're probably going to give it a C or D. Here is my rankings for these. What did you think? Comment below. As always, I am appreciative of you checking out my channel and watching these ranking videos. This one was a little different. I do believe that Playmates Interactive Entertainment made above average games for the most part. And even ones that I wasn't really into, I think there's going to be fans out there. So thank you so much. I have many more of these videos coming. And so stay tuned. This is the Immortal John Hancock. And if you're new to my channel, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and click the bell as I'm uploading videos every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is the Immortal John Hancock, and you have a good day.